Refin Review.
Jimmy, this past Friday night on SmackDown during the Pretty Deadly and Fraxian tag team match, uh, I'm going to set it up for you. It was kind of interesting. I messaged you guys right off the bat because I'm like, something didn't look right. Do you want to just explain what I'm referring to?
Yeah, it was a pretty good tag team match that was going on. I think what happened was Nathan Frazier hit one of the pretty deadly guys. What do you call the backflip? The
Yeah, it's like a backflip into a like a
into a
backflip moonsault
Like a
into
moonsault?
to a
yeah,
splash.
into a splash. Yeah, there's a name for it, and it's eluding me right now. But anyways, long story short, it looked like his knee connected with Nathan Frazier's knee connected with again, I forget the guy's name that was pinned in this predicament. Hit him in the chin and actually, did bust him open. So it looked like he got his bell rung. And Aja or Daphne went down to count, and it was 1, 2. And as she was coming down, looked pretty clear that there was not going to be a kick out. So she kind of uh, swung a little bit of a scoop at the end and pancaked out. And at the same time, I will say this, at the same time, it looked like Nathan Frazier was rolling off and the shoulder was coming up.
Mhm.
But to the audience who was watching it, looked like it was clearly a 3 count. Um, I think that could have been avoided. The best way to avoid that situation, especially the way it panned out, was to not make it as obvious, because I think by pancaking out and landing flat on the canvas, it accentuated the situation.
A
I
non-kick
think
out.
what, yeah. So in my opinion, the way it could have worked out is she could have counted 3, because the roll off and the shoulder came up almost simultaneously, right? And she could have paused for a minute, thought about it, wave it off, and say, no, no, no. The shoulder did come up. It was kind of like a tie. Tie goes to the runner kind of
Mhm.
thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And kind of, cover up in that form or fashion. But again, it's one of those situations where it's a split second decision you got to make. And people think, oh, I would have done this and I would have done that. And she should have done that. Look, guys, you've never been in there. You've never been in the situation. You're caught in a rock in a hard place,
Yep.
So, you know, I'm just saying it could have been covered up a little differently, not to accentuate the moment as much as it was.
So here's what I'll say to that. Jimmy, there's one thing I disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
It was very obvious he didn't kick out. And it wasn't a split second. It was a pregnant pause before it was seen, because I believe, like you said, I believe he got his bell rung.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for her. I don't know what name she goes by, Aja or Daphne. I'm just saying, I feel bad for her because that is a tough situation.
Right.
That is something that's unavoidable, something you can't see. I don't think any of us three, Daniel, me, or you, Jimmy, would have done what we may even say, because we don't know. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Right.
And I'm not trying to put what you said is perfect to do that. I don't know if that would have improved it or not. It might have made it better, but it was still just wonky, very wonky.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only thing I think that could have happened, in my opinion, which I didn't see, I went back and watched it several times, and I stress this all the time. And Jimmy, you've done it too. I taught Daniel to do this as well. When you think there's jeopardy, you got to yell kick. You got to kick. You got to kick. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't get anything, now you've got to get to the part where you're talking about, where I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it and cover my ass.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so quick. It's so quick. It's so
Right.
hard. It's so decisive. And I do feel bad for her. I don't think she made a mistake. I
No,
just think that she kind of was left hanging. Not
of
her
course.
fault. That's just the only thing I can touch on. Daniel?
Yeah. I mean, it's situations you've got to think quick on your feet,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? There might be a situation where
she may have never been in that situation before. This may have been her first time, as far as like not knowing, not yelling kick or whatever. And maybe they discussed in the back to make things better, rewatch the tape or whatever. And now next time that'll never happen again. I don't know. I can't speak for her. I can't speak for anyone. I just know when I've been in that situation years ago and it happened to me, whether I was right or whether I was wrong, which I've been in both situations where I was right and I was wrong.
Mm.
You learn from it and you grow, and that's how you get
Mhm.
better. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing.
We've all been wrong, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
All
And
of
one
us.
last thing I'll say: only when you feel the talent is screwed up, got their bell rung. Something my dad, gave me years ago, which I've actually used several times. Go ahead and slide your hand underneath that shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and count. And if you don't feel that movement, push that shoulder up. Just push it up. You don't have to use your arm and haul, but you can use your hand and just shove it up. You can just use your hand. It's still an instinctive thing to do. It's still very difficult, but it's only used to be done when you knew the guy may have a chance of not kicking out.
Right.
AKA a Kurt Angle. Done it with several times. You do that to a talent that's not, they're going to get pissed.
One last thing. This is very important too, because we always talk about positioning and putting yourself, and she was in the right position. I mean, like,
Absolutely.
see both shoulders and make eye contact.
Yep.
Eye contact is very important because the eyes, I know that old expression, the eyes are the window to the soul, but the eyes also are telling when someone does get their bell rung.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the things that I remember doing, similar to what you said, Brian, is that I remember counting, and I went to do to not count three, and I saw that they weren't kicking out, and as I didn't hit the mat, I immediately put my other hand in the shoulder and was like, it was.
Mhm.
It was like, I'm showing you barely. If anything, I just was like, it's up, and I made it look like it was just a little bit.
Yeah.
And luckily, Matt Stryker, who was doing commentary at the time for TNA Impact, saved me with the wow, that referee, he was so close, he just a little bit of shoulder distance, and that's what caused the kick out, because this person was not kicking out at all.
Striker.
And
Striker.
yeah.
Oh, Striker.
Also, Brian, I know you you saw something from Raw this past week that you wanted to comment on as well with our Eddie Rango, I believe, correct?
Yes. I want to say this. I dig this guy. I think his style is great. I love his movements, his actions in the ring, his expressions, where he places himself. He works the hard camera well. He's at the shoulders. He has good finishes, but he's got to stop this. He's got to, because it's awful. It's awful, and it's a dead giveaway. The scooping, he's got the largest ice cream scoop I've ever heard or seen. If he can fix that, this guy could be literally one of the better referees that are out there today. Until he fixes that, it's awful. And it's on the real close false finishes. When they're not, he has fine false finishes, which is weird. It's like, do that for your close ones too. But it's just like he wants to, and he even swings higher. Like, in other words, he's his regular 1-2. And then on the third one, when he knows he's going to be real close, he goes even higher in the air and just swings through his entire body. And it's just god awful. And everything else you do is great. Everything else you do is great. I can't say enough about you. I really do like your style.
And
Go ahead.
I do want to say something. You just reminded me of something that happened this past week on Raw, and I actually, as funny as it sounds, kudos to him, because it was the match between Roxanne and who did she take on?
Was it EO?
EO, yes.
Yes.
And there was they did this segment where they basically, it was the finishing segment where they're pinning back and forth, roll over.
Yes, the fish out of
But
water.
Oh, yeah.
But the first thing they did was Roxanne goes to pin, and she was leaning back to the bridge, and Eddie started the 1 count before the bridge, but he changes cadence for that pin because he's like, oh crap, I've already hit 1. It allows her to get the bridge, then goes 2, but then takes his sweet time for 3 to keep the cadence the same to allow her to kick out. I was like, that was good, because yes, his cadence was different on that compared to all the other ones, and that's a different conversation. But the bottom line is, he saved that pin because they wouldn't have kicked out, or that bridge wouldn't have worked, and who knows what would have happened. So I thought that was a smart thinking on his feet to
Mm-hmm.
change his cadence. But what I liked about it is that when he did the 2, he made sure the 3 coming down was just as long as the between the 1 and the 2. That's what made that great. So kudos to him for doing that, because thinking on your feet quick, because most people would just keep going, oh, and then they may not kick out because they're in the process of trying to bridge.
And,
So
and more kudos to him for keeping up too, because there were
yes.
7 pinfall attempts in that.
Yes, and their
Before,
shoulders were
before,
in different positions where he had to move
and
around in the front. He got
and
to the
he
he got to,
kept moving around
yes,
into the proper position to be
he
able to
did.
see both shoulders, which is very
Absolutely.
So I
important.
want to
Some
reiterate.
guys would have probably counted butt cheeks as opposed to shoulders.
No,
And
you're right.
by the way, I didn't see the scoop as much on those that he
Right,
does on the other.
right.
No, see, that's the thing.
Because he
He
wasn't
does them.
thinking. It
Yes,
wasn't in his head.
yes, he was just trying to be in the right position, and he wasn't even thinking. And that's
Right.
what I'm saying, guys. I'm putting him over. I really am.
No, I know you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he could just fix that scooping thing, the world is his. Seriously, I could put him in front of a lot of people I think are good. Really. So
Why we have you? We're back this week, Daniel. I was on the docket last week to ask you, and you were out in California. But the spot from Rebellion with Leo Slater off the top of
Leon,
the trust.
Leon,
What did I say?
Leo.
I'm sorry.
oh, same
Leon.
thing.
Yeah, well, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, just the thought process of the how did you? Because you were out there during it, correct?
Yeah, I was. Mhm.
Thought process when you got something like that going on there, when you get especially off of what was I forgot the name of it. It just had it in my head. Ultimate X
Ultimate X?
match.
Yeah, okay.
How you get something like that, and was that something that you knew was coming to look out for, or was that
Yeah.
something that okay?
Yeah, I knew the match, so I knew the main. I mean, obviously there was a lot of spots I didn't know because most of it was kind of like we're gonna do this. I mean, but all the big spot, all the important things I knew because the stuff they did call ahead of time. Believe it or not, a lot of that match was not called ahead of time. So they call it on the fly, but a lot of it was, and or half of it was, whatever. And that was one of the spots I was watching, waiting for it. Knew it was coming, and I was in a position. If you pay attention to where I was at, the hard cam, he did it from the hard cam side. We had Alice there. Paige was on the opposite side of her catty corner, and I was on the other side by the commentary table, closer to where he was from where Paige was, but still away from that corner. So as he goes and does the spot, lands, I understand Alice was going there, and I understand Paige was running over, but it didn't matter. My job was to get. I saw him not hit. I don't know if they did or not. My job was to get straight over to them immediately, and get over and make sure that he's okay. I won't tell you what he said to me because I'll keep that private. But it is a funny thing he said, and that made me. I said, "Well,
Oh,
then
come
I
on,
guess
Daniel. That'll actually put him over. Come on.
No, I won't say what he said.
Oh,
But let me just put it no because it won't. I don't think it would put him over. But what he said was
It puts you over with me though.
yeah. What he said though was I was like, yeah, he's okay. And then you're asking me, is he okay? I was okay. I'm like, he's fine. If he caught himself this, he's fine. So
Earl will tell us.
well, you know what?
If he was in that situation, Earl will tell us. I mean, that's your hero.
Well, and even if he wouldn't, he could be coerced.
yeah.
So,
Well,
Daniel, can I ask you one question?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you up, but this is the most important reason why we brought this up.
Yeah.
So, what do you think happened? Did he overshoot the pile? Was the pile not
No.
completely?
No.
What?
No.
What? Because he wasn't completely caught. I mean, you know that. And I'm
you
not
kinda-
blaming talent.
No,
I'm just saying.
you kind of touched on this last week. Here's the issue. The issue is when you're doing that flip, a 450, or as Jimmy would want to call it, the twisting burning.
No, there we go. Come on.
What?
Come on, you got it. Go.
Oh
You
yeah,
had
the
it.
twisting burning. Oh man, I had it until you messed me up.
450.
Yeah,
Phoenix Splash.
I've said it before. We'll do it later. Anyways, when you're doing the move like that, the momentum's different, and therefore the gravity takes the physics basically pull you down harder. If he was to just jump and dive, or even just do a moonsault or something of that way, the dive he would be floating in the air. A moonsault
Mhm.
or a moonsault as well as a crossbody would have him float. He would be Air Jordan as we talked about earlier for a minute, and he would give time for everyone to kind of get into position and everything. When you're going and doing a flip, all of a sudden physics take a place, momentum happens, and therefore you come down faster at a
Mhm.
faster rate.
Right.
So that's what caused that to be kind of whoa, here he comes, because I think the guys waiting to catch were thinking it's gonna be a minute for him to come down, and oh nope, oh shit, he's right there.
Right.
So I think that's what happened.
Mhm.
Granted, there's all these conversations about who should have happened, should have not, whatever. The bottom line is everyone agreed on the spot, so everyone agreed on the spot, and
Right.
then you just need to do the spot at that point if you agreed upon it.
And
So
and if I could just expand on your
yeah,
explanation there, Daniel, just to give people a comparison, so hopefully they understand what I mean.
yeah,
If you take a 4x8 sheet of plywood and you took a rock that's the same weight, not the same size, the same weight,
yeah,
and you throw them both off a cliff,
yep,
the rock's going to hit first because there's less air holding
right,
it up. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep,
Anyway,
yeah.
just trying
Well, I
to
mean, when you're
paint a
doing a
picture so
twisting,
people understand what
when
you're
you're doing
saying.
it, yeah, well, when you're doing a twisting, burning 450 hammer Phoenix splash,
Yes.
it happens.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, you said that to clear up things and make things everybody understand. Well, you just totally,
Threw you off?
just yeah, just threw me the fuck out.
Well, but the thing about it is that I will say this, and I'm not trying to justify what he did, but guys, it was on Sports Center this week. TNA got a lot of rub.
Hmm.
Leon Slater's a name you now know, so I think we're all okay. And thank God no one got hurt. I mean,
Exactly.
so
That's the bottom
now that
line.
no one got hurt, you can analyze, talk about it, whatever. The bottom line is you're talking about it, you're thinking about it, and it was on Sports Center. So done or not,
There
done
you
or
go.
not.